Hello everybody, I'm the Trailbox Gamer. Welcome back to Minecraft. This is episode 3. We're playing on I broke my pickaxe as soon as I found the iron. That villager pretty much summed up how I felt about that, like, Okay, well, let's see, we got a good amount of cobblestone, but we can always get more. I'm gonna need a whole lot more. A good amount more. We're gonna terraform this whole area. At least until I find something interesting. Either that, or until I just get bored. One or the other. But give me the iron. My iron. I remember when the iron was different. That was a long time ago. Honestly, it looked weird if I go back to the original, because it's been like this for a while, but, I don't like that there's a lack of light. That is not what I meant to do. I request the light, not the bark. Go away. I hate the dark. I mean, it's not that dark, but still, go away. Give me the light. While I'm mining out and getting cobblestone, I guess I could just talk about whatever. So, what's your favorite game? I mean, it's kind of hard to pick a favorite game after you play so many. I guess there's some that you could say are easily not your favorite. But, like, for example, I like the Sly Cooper series. I like 1, 2, and 3, but out of the 4 in the game, 4 was not my favorite. I didn't like 4. I didn't hate 4, but compared to the other 3, it's very low tier on what I like in the series. If I were to list my favorites between the, I guess it goes 2. It's kind of a mix-up. You know what? It's 2, 3, 1, and then 4. That's my go-to. The reason why 2 beats 3, even though 3 does a few things I like compared to 2, is that 2 was a game that introduced me to the series. And again, this is a joke that I make that, every game I play is usually the sequel before the original. Which, you know what? That hasn't happened as often, but it still has happened often enough where I could comfortably make that joke. Let's see. I played Sly 2 first before I played Sly 1. The difference between the first game and the second game are very jarring, so you can imagine my confusion when I went from 2 to 1. Granted, by the time I went to 2, I think it was on the PlayStation 3 port of the game, so not officially the on the PS2. I think another game that I started from the sequel was Dead Space. I played 2, and then I played 1 later down the line. And then I got the 3. I was not too much of a fan with 3. Don't get me wrong, the whole weapon customization thing got my interest, but there's some other things that just, like, did not click with me, and I was like, I don't care too much about this. And I think at one point my game just started, like, freezing, like, glitched out, and I didn't really care to get a new copy. I was like, forget this. And then I kept hearing, like, more bad things about, like, okay, to get the true ending, you need the DLC, and it's like, oh, you're gonna do that to me. I'm kind of glad I didn't go through for the whole thing. I mean, on one hand, I am kind of sad that I didn't beat the series, but on the other hand, it's like, I felt like that would have been left, like, leaving me just slightly disappointed. And there's a multiplayer feature that, I'm not saying I hate multiplayer, but when you can have no means for it to play, because at the time I didn't really have internet, it feels kind of pointless. Like, feels kind of, well, I can't really do much with this, you know? I could be wrong because it's been a long time, but I'm pretty sure there was, like, trophies that needed the multiplayer too. And since I lacked, internet at the time and can't connect to PlayStation Network, it's like, I can't get the platinum for this, for this game, and I'm kind of a trophy hunter. Achievement hunter. Like, I go for the trophies, the achievements, like, I try to get them, and it's like, when you can't because it's stuck behind a needed multiplayer part of the game, it's like, wow, this sucks. That actually reminds me of another game that I played the sequel before the original was Dead Rising 2. So you can imagine how awkward it was going from Dead Rising 2's combo weapons to the first one's non-combo weapons. Like, that took me by surprise. Still a fun game. Both games were pretty fun. I heard that they had a reboot, or not a reboot, but a remaster for 1. I have yet to play it, and I honestly, whenever I see a game that pops out like that, I don't really look up the game until I get a chance to play it, because it's like, if there's anything new, I want it to be a little surprise, just like, give me a little surprise. If it's nothing new, if it's just like, okay, it's a port of the last game, well, not a port per se, but if it's just the last game, but with new graphics, new mechanics, and, okay, that's cool. I don't mind. I remember, I think it was for SpongeBob SquarePants, it was a rehydrated game. A lot of people were complaining about the game for some reason. I don't recall why they were complaining about it, but I was thinking, you guys have no idea how long I've been waiting for this game to be put on the new consoles. You have no idea how long I was waiting to get this news. I am happy with a bad port. That's how happy I would have been if you guys did the bare minimum, like you just ported the game from the original and just like didn't fix anything. I would have been happy with that. Now, these are the same guys that made a different game title when I was a kid. This was a game that I played constantly, so when I saw the success for SpongeBob SquarePants, I was thinking, kind of hoping that maybe, just maybe, if they had the time, they'd go back and get the reboot treatment to Scooby-Doo Nights of 100 Frights, because that was the very first game I ever owned. Like, the very first game I ever owned. Like, 100%, it was mine. It was also the game that I had before I actually got a memory card and could save anything, so kid me would start the game each day, start from the very beginning, and play until I couldn't for the rest of the day. And I kept that up. And at least until I got a memory card and I was finally able to save. I actually remember going to my grandpa's house, like playing the game, and he went out to the store one day, he came back, and he actually got me another PS2 game, and I remember what he said to me. He said, "Here, I want to see you play something other than Scooby-Doo." And I think he got me Ratchet and Clank, and I think he got me Kingdom Hearts. I think those were the 2 games he got me. I don't know which one, like, I'm positive those were the 2 games, but yeah, I remember he told me he just wanted to watch me not play Scooby-Doo, like he was getting a little tired of watching the same game over and over again. I think I might have been, I don't know, I was not 5, I was probably 6. I was probably 6 at the time, probably, it's either 6 or 7. I honestly don't remember, it's been a long time, but I did remember that he said, "Here, I'm just tired of watching you play Scooby-Doo, play something else." I think when I started playing Ratchet and Clank, I think between the 2 games I was more hooked with Ratchet and Clank than Kingdom Hearts at the time, because I think Kingdom Hearts kind of scared me, and if you know why, you know why some of the earlier scenes could be kind of terrifying for a little kid. So, I went to Ratchet and Clank. Got hooked on it immediately. Like, I played a good chunk of Ratchet and Clank for a while until I got more games, but yeah. Actually, if it wasn't Ratchet and Clank, maybe it was Jak and Daxter, because I know I got the games somewhere between those 2. I think between them, I kind of like Jak and Daxter a little more, but they're kind of in the top 10, like Sly Cooper, Kingdom Hearts, Jak and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank, like those I could say are definitely my top 10 favorite games. I can't tell you which one would be number 1, but those are definitely in my top 10. I'm trying to think, did I play all the series of the games? I'm positive that I have. Okay, so with Sly Cooper, you have Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus, Sly 2 Band of Thieves, Sly 3 Honor Among Thieves, and then Sly 4 A Thieves in Time. I mean, technically, I think there was another entry called Bentley's Hack Pack, but from my understanding, that's just like a bunch of mini games and not really any game with a plot, so you can understand why I'm not going to really include that in the list. So yeah, it's there, but I'm not counting it. Jak and Daxter, again, this game actually, I want to say this is actually one of the first games I played from the first game all the way to the chronological end of the game. I started with Precursor's Legacy, 2, 3. Combat Racing I played for a bit, but I just couldn't beat because it got me sick, which I'm glad I got to play it again as an adult and actually beat it this time around. Daxter, and then I ended it on Lost Frontier. And I have to say that if I were to put my favorite of the Jak and Daxter games, this would be the list. At number 1, I want to say put Jak 2. 2, gonna have to put Jak 3. Third place, Precursor's Legacy. Fourth place, now this is where it's gonna get a little iffy because I don't want to insult anybody, but at the same time, from my own personal experiences, this is why they're kind of ranked. But 4 is Daxter. 5th is going to be Combat Racing, and I know some people might not like that I put it too low. I apologize, but personally, I'm not a racing fan, and that game did get me sick as a kid, so I kind of have some beef with it. It is a pretty fun racing game, not gonna lie, and, you know, for someone who doesn't like racing games, that's quite the compliment. But 6, I do have to put Lost Frontier. Honestly, I just got the port of it for the PlayStation 4, and I don't like how the controls feel. Like, I really don't like how the controls feel. And I know that seems like a weird complaint, but it just feels so wrong. It just feels so wrong. Like, it feels bad. I haven't gotten far where I got into, like, the story yet, but yeah. 4, I mean, not 4, but Lost Frontier's not feeling too good when you went back on it years later. Now for Ratchet & Clank, oh boy, that is a whirlwind of a game series that I went through because, yeah, I did start at 1, but the next game of Ratchet & Clank I didn't start until Size Matters, which I think is the 5th in the series. Let me double check that real quick. Okay, yeah, it was the 5th in the entry. So I went from 1 to 5. I think I ended up going to 3, Up Your Arsenal, and then to 2 going Commando in that order. I skipped Deadlock because I think around the time that it was already out, but I think Tools of Destruction got out and I just got a PS3, so I went with Tools of Destruction. Then after that, I had a huge hiatus. Got Secret Agent Clank at some point. Then Ratchet & Clank A Crack in Time, which I think after that, I was done with the series. Yeah. I mean, not the series wasn't done, it was just I stopped playing the game for a while. And I think at one point I did get a chance to try Ratchet & Clank Future Quest for Booty, but I didn't beat the game, so that was, let's see, 1, 2, 3, skipped 4, went to 5, Tools of Destruction was 6, Secret Agent Clank seems to be the 7th entry, skipped 8, went to 9, went back to 8, didn't complete 8, completed 9. It's, as you can see, a whirlwind, because after A Crack in Time, that's where I kind of stopped playing for a while, because I felt like A Crack in Time was a good way to end the series. I just felt like that was a good way to say, hey, the adventures are still going, but you played them all, you know? But after that, it was, I think, All for One, which I remember try playing, I just couldn't get too into. And I know that John, if you like, he was the one that did, you know, the Batman games with me. I do know that he did have Into the Nexus, which I tried, and I just, like, I couldn't get too into, so it's like, that's, it's safe to say that Future Crack in Time, that's where I stopped with the game. Then you have the 2016 version that I played. It was okay, I just didn't care how it kind of tied in, like, movie cutscenes into the game, because, you know, when you play the game, if you record it, the cutscenes would say, hey, pause, this is a cutscene that just can't be recorded, and I pieced together that, oh, because you used it from the movie. That's the only thing I didn't like about the 2016 version of the game. It's like, eh. It feels kind of lazy when you just take it from the movie, you know, just slightly lazy. And even though I've been looking forward to playing Rift Apart, it's just I don't have a PS5 to play it, so yeah, kind of waiting on that one. No, wait, no, wait. I did play I did play Deadlock. That was the 4th game. I remember that I did it for PS Tuesdays. It's not out yet, but I remember I played it, and it was a fun game. It's just I was not too keen on the control scheme for it. It was very different from the first 3. Like, very different, but it was still pretty fun. I actually got to complete it. Now, how would I rank these games? I think the games that I really haven't played or even beaten, I think those are just going to go off into the non-applicable file, just because if I were to rank them, it really wouldn't be fair, because I haven't beaten them. I haven't played them much, so they go over there. So that's going to be Quest for Booty, that's going to be All for One, that's going to be Full Frontal Assault, Before the Nexus, Into the Nexus, and A Rift Apart. Those ones are just not going to get ranked, so those 6, bye-bye. As for the rest, this is going to be... You know what? No, I'm gonna go through the list, and I'll just put my rankings there. So, starting with the first Ratchet and Clank, let's see. Where would I rank you? You're not bad, but you're not exactly what I would call polished. Which makes sense. You're the first in the game, but the rank you low doesn't feel too right. Like, you are fun, you had a great story, you got me interested in the series, so you know what? For you, I'm gonna put you as a solid mid-tier. Like, if we were gonna rank these, I'd say you're, like, in the middle. Like, dead set in the middle. Like, completely in the middle. Now, going off into the next game, which will be the second game, Going Commando, you are an improvement from the first game. A great improvement. You introduced new concepts to the series that stayed with the series, like weapon upgrades. That was beautifully added. Beautifully added. Like, you use a weapon, the upgrade to a stronger version of the weapon. I have to say, actually, how many games would there be? Because now that 6 are not counted, I need to do a double check real quick. Alright, going back to the games, games that we'll be ranking are 9 in total. We already ranked the first one, so that will be the 5th one, because I'll be technically in the middle of 9. So let's see. Where would number 2 go? You're not going below 5. That's for sure. I don't think you'd be quite at number 1. There's still some clunkiness with you, but you were the first steps in improvement. I say number 2. I'm putting you at the 3rd spot. I feel like you deserve the 3rd spot. And that's because I know number 3 is still up there, and it was a pretty fun game. It's just, I feel like with Going Commando, Up Your Arsenal just take a slight downgrade compared to the 2 games. Like, I don't know what it is, it's just, it feels like there's some... It just doesn't feel as much as Going Commando, so that's why I'm putting number 3 at number 4. Next, I would say, is Deadlock. Now, this is kind of a challenge here, because 1, Deadlock was a pretty fun game, and to be honest, I think the only reason why it would be going down below 5 is just the control schemes, and it feels a little repetitive at times. Plus, like I said, the control scheme that it defaults on is very different from the original 3. It just, doesn't hit right with me, to be honest. So after Deadlock will be Size Matters. Now, I was thinking about this. I was thinking real hard about this because I like Size Matters. However, I'm just going to say right now that I'm not talking about the PSP version. I'm going to be talking about the PS2 version, because versions do count towards, like, the critique. Because, you know, on the PS2 version, it's just really clunky for me. I don't know if that's for everybody, but for me, I remember it being very clunky. And that kind of lowers the game. It's just, with both Size Matters and Secret Agent Clank, I feel like they both have a certain type of clunkiness to them, and it's hard to place them. It's kind of hard to place them on where they really would be on this list. Now, I guess if we're going with the feel of a Ratchet and Clank game, then I guess not Secret Agent Clank, Size Matters will be technically a little above, because Secret Agent Clank feels more like a parody game, because it's technically just like a James Bond game, just with Clank, really, if you think about it, which I heard a theory that the Secret Agent Clank game is just an in-universe movie based off his TV show, which, if you think of it like that, it makes sense why it's so, different from the rest of the series. So, even though it's pretty low, I'm gonna put Size Matters at number 8. Again, fun story, fun game. It's just the clunkiness, honestly, that kind of kills me with it. But continuing on with, after that, I think would be a future Tools of Destruction. This, I want to say, probably gonna have to put it at number 2. For the next game series, for the next generation of the game series, I feel like it just hits. I think the only complaint I had about Ratchet and Clank Tools of Destruction was that there was this motion control thing with the PS3 controller. I could never get over how annoying it was. I could never get a hang of it. So that's the only thing I could really think about to complain about with that game. Again, it's been a while since I played, but that's the only thing that really came to mind as why I didn't like it. Just that one little aspect. But it was only for, I think only a couple parts of the game, not the full game, so that's why I'm putting it at number 2. Then, we have Secret Agent Clank. I'm gonna have to say that because it feels more of a parody of the game series, it's gonna go on the bottom list. And again, just a full disclosure, Secret Agent Clank and Size Matters, they feel like they could just tie in for 9 or 8. Not that I hate them, but it's just how clunky they kind of feel sometimes. It just doesn't really take it kind of takes the enjoyment out of it, if that makes sense. Then we have A Future Crack in Time. You know what? I'm gonna put this as number 1 because I feel like this game could have been the end of the series. This game felt like it concluded the series. You could said, that's it. That's the end. You've beaten all the games. Congratulations. And you know what? Gave a satisfying ending to it. That is why I have it at number 1. It's fun to play. I can't remember much of the game because it's been so long that I played it, but I remember that when I beat it, I felt like I've completed the series. And then we have the 2016 version, which is at number 7. Look, the game looked great, it controlled great, but the reason why I'm putting it low, in fact, you know what, I probably should put this at number 9 because it kind of miffed me a bit, is that the game used movie cutscenes, and I just felt that was a little lazy. I just felt like that was personally a little lazy. I know that seems like a small thing, but it kind of shows how much care you're putting into a project if you just cut movie cutscenes from, the movie and put it in the game and say, okay, yeah, they're done. Just felt like that kind of ruined it ruined the immersion for me when I'm recording to play it and then says, oh, can't record this cutscene because, copyright or something. That's what kind of clued me in that, okay, it's using cutscenes from the movie rather than making their own. So, that kind of got me miffed a bit. And that is the best I could do with the ranking. Again, I don't feel too comfortable for this ranking because a few of the games I feel comfortable with putting down. It's just some other games I just don't really do because it's been a while since I've played them. I feel like that's a fair ranking system. Yeah, fair enough at least. And now we have, what was the other game? Kingdom Hearts. Oh boy, don't think we have enough time to talk about that, but I guess I could tell you the order of games I played. I could talk that, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to rank all of them, like, not in 5 minutes, no siree Bob. Okay, so I started with the first Kingdom Hearts. The second Kingdom Hearts I would have popped up would have been the Chain of Memories game, but I learned very early on that not all games come on the same system. And when Chain of Memories came out, it was only on the Game Boy Advance, which broke Kid Me's heart just a little because I couldn't play my favorite game. Now, after that, I went for Kingdom Hearts 2. I think after 2, it was a tie between Birth by Sleep, Recoded, or 350 Days Out of 2. I don't recall which one. I think it might have been Birth by Sleep that I played first, which came out in 2010, while Coded and 358 Days Out of 2 came out in 2008 and 2009, respectively. I think after that, it was 358 Days Out of 2 first that I played because I knew that was where, like, plot-wise, that took place between Chains of Memories and 2, so I kind of, or between the two games, so that's where I went for the next game. Then I played Coded, and then after I played Coded, I know I went with Dream Drop Distance, and I think after Dream Drop Distance, it started going with the 1.5, 2.5 remixes, you know, the ports for the, like, just basically the games I already played, just like in one package. And then there was a 2.8 game that came out before 3, and then 3 finally came out in 2019. Then there was after 3, which honestly, at one point, I think after 3, I was kind of ready to say I'm done with the series. But Melody of Memories did look like a fun rhythm game, so I went and got that in 2020. It was pretty fun, honestly. Not bad for a rhythm game. It's just, there were also the phone games. And even though I'm looking up all the Kingdom Hearts games in order right now, the phone games aren't listed. So, A Dark Road, I don't know where that came out. Like, that's where in the series I kind of got cut off, because when they came out, I did not have a phone that could properly download any games like that. So I missed out on the mobile games, and I think that's also where I kind of lost the plot. That is where I lost the plot. And I hate that because I guess I could wrap this up by telling you something that happened during Kingdom Hearts 3. Like, the announcement for Kingdom Hearts 3, there was a competition where if you get enough points for the mobile game, if you get a certain amount, you get your name in the third game. The thing is, you want to know when I found out about this competition? The day after it ended. The day after it ended, and when I found out, I was so upset. I was like, really? Really? This is how I found out? This is how I find out. The day after it ends. Why don't you just slap me? That's what you're doing. You're just slapping me at this point. Thank you. I think I would have felt a little better if I never found this before. Like, if I never seen this competition before, I could at least say, okay, well, I didn't know about it. But I found out the day literally after it closed. It's like, why, world? Why, world? And every time that I get to that part in Kingdom Hearts 3 where I see all the usernames, I just feel a little envious. Just a little envious. Like, man, I really want to be a part of that. That was like one of my favorite games. Like, that actually reminds me. I think Sly 4 had a similar competition where if you entered like a loot to take in the game, it could be featured in said game. And no, I did not get the memo for that, and I did not get a chance to enter that. But yeah, stuff like that. It's like a slap to the face. Like, what are you gonna do? You know, like, things like this happen. At the end of the day, I still enjoy the games. It's just, I I know, Kitty. I'm very sad too. I'm also going to be adding a lot of furnaces because, well, I need furnaces. There we go. So start smelting the... We're going to be here for quite some time with this, aren't we? You know what? If we don't have enough coal, I do have a lot of wood. So if I need to use any emergency, fuel, we got wood for it. Do I want to use it? No, but if I need to use it, I got it. I'm good. We're all good. But this is the end of the video, so thank you for watching, everybody. I'll see you next time. Take care. Please like and subscribe, and have a great day.